People don't understand that there's demons amongst us even now.
The devil! My fans, they love me.
And demons wear clothes like we wear clothes, and that is because they're trying to fit in. They're trying to be one of us.
One of us, one of us. Google gobble, Google gobble, one of us, one of us.
And they're very good at disguising themselves.
I'm going to be a master of disguise. I'm going to be a master of disguise. I'm going to be a master.
So they could potentially be a dog, they could be a cat, they could be any kind of animal, they could be a person, they could be your mum, your dad.
You can be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do, and steal whatever you want to steal.
And they will appear however you feel comfortable.
And all of this comes from the man who allegedly is an ordained exorcist who turned out not to be a real ordained exorcist. Oh my god, we're in for a treat in this interview, right? Buongiorno, buon pomeriggio, and buonasera, depending on what time you're watching this video. Welcome back to Spaghetti alla Paranormale. Welcome back to another hopefully entertaining video. I hope anyway you're doing well and you're having the best day of your life, my dear patrons, because you deserve only the very best. So today's video is a sort of a follow-up of Beardo's video in regard of a certain exorcist, a certain person who goes by the name of Ian Lawman. So if you haven't watched the video, you can watch it right here. So it's a very interesting video. Beardo did an amazing job in researching all the all the information in regards of this person, and turns out that this self-proclaimed exorcist, self-proclaimed ordained by the Anglican Church, in reality is a fraud.
And I found conflicting reports online, things that Ian has said. Ian has claimed online that he is ordained by the Church of England. He's also said that he was ordained by the Spiritualist Church. I'm like, did both, or have you forgotten, or have you got your churches mixed up? I contacted the Church of England, and they responded.
I wanted to react on the interview he had with the Lad Bible, where Beardo only took a small portion, a very extremely small portion of the video, and according to what Beardo said, this is what actually sparked the interest in him in trying to dig deeper into this person, and he did absolutely right. So well done, Beardo.
That's really impressive. Whoa, whoa, just whoa, bravo.
So people, let's watch the video together and let's try to react to it in the most possibly unbiased way. Well, I mean, you know me, you know what I think about exorcism and in general, so...
It's all bollocks, isn't it?
People don't understand that there's demons amongst us even now. And demons wear clothes like we wear clothes, and that is because they're trying to fit in. They're trying to be one of us. And they're very good at disguising themselves. So they could potentially be a dog, they could be a cat, they could be any kind of animal, they could be a person, they could be your mum, your dad, and they...
Wait a second. Are you implying that demons are something like physical? First and foremost, Ian, explain to me, you gotta explain to me and explain to us, how do they do that, first and foremost, and second, demons are not real, man. Just to think that they can be a dog or an animal and stuff, this is completely bonkers to me. Anyway.
They will appear however you feel comfortable.
Nice title, Honesty Box.
Hi, my name's Ian Lawman. And
Hi,
I'm
Liam.
a psychic and an exorcist. And I'm here to answer your
So, he's a psychic and an exorcist. Okay.
Your questions from this honesty box.
Okay. First question.
What causes somebody to be possessed?
Good
Possession is something you shouldn't take very lightly, and it's quite dangerous. Now, we tend to find that somebody who's possessed is normally low energy, maybe an addict of some kind, suffers from depression, anxiety. Now, I don't want everyone to worry and think if you're suffering from anxiety, you're going to become possessed because the likelihood is it's not going to happen.
No, in
So if
fact.
somebody's possessed with an entity, it's very, very slow. I mean, there is situations where it's bang, it's like a car crash and it's in there. But the majority of people, it's very slow.
Listen, you described symptoms that can be attributed to depression. That's all. Not a demonic possession. So you gotta explain to me, how do you distinguish a real depression from a demonic possession depression? You described symptoms that can be treated by professionals, not by you. 100%.
Your loved ones away. And the whole idea of this is this entity is wanting to isolate you. And then long term, if this was left out, there is stories of people committing suicide because they can't live anymore because of this entity. Now, it's not necessarily the entity that's making you commit suicide. It could be the fact that you can't cope with it anymore.
Listen, I have been already discussed mental health issue related to unaliving oneself. It is not a demon possessing you that makes you feel this way. Maybe there is something more to it, a psychological condition that actually drives you that way, or a certain specific events in your life that actually keep you down at that level. The only thing you gotta do if you feel the symptoms is to immediately seek professional help.
It's making you feel like this. So it's a very, very slow process. So it could be over months, over years, and it feeds off you. And sometimes what happens when that entity has had enough of you, it will just leave you.
Demons are kind of Casanovas of the ethereal world. Once they're done with you now, I'm going, it's not you, it's not you, it's me, I'm going to the next one.
It's not you, it's me. It's me.
Come on, Ian! This is a lot of bollocks.
How often do you exercise? I don't know whether they mean how often do I perform exorcism or how often do I go to the gym. I exercise. Exorcism, it varies. Sometimes we can go through a couple of months with none, and then sometimes we can go through a couple of months with several. So normally what would happen is you would go to your local parish.
I have checked from 2010 to 2025. Of course, there are not official statistics. They indeed receive a lot of calls, especially the majority of them are located in the United States of America, UK, way less, and Italy and the rest of Europe way less. I mean, they receive a lot of calls, probably not even the 0.0001% of those calls end up in an exorcism. As Beardo was stating, like in his previous video, usually they do prayer groups and other things similar, not a real exorcism, because most of the time the issue, as said, is emotional, psychological. It doesn't have anything to do with demonic possession. But apparently Ian Lawman has a high percentage of demon encounter.
What a surprise!
You would then get your local vicar, priest, or minister out. They would come and bless you and bless the house, walk around the house with just a Bible reading. Sometimes they potentially could use holy water, depends which religion you come from. If that failed, then you would also ask for another priest or local vicar to come out. And then if that vicar or priest or reverend decided it was a little bit more sinister, a little bit more darker than they can deal with, or they don't understand it, they would put in what we call application for exorcism, which would then go to the local bishop, and then it'd be the bishop who looks at it and decides whether this, I don't want to use the word deserves an exorcism because that sounds quite callous, but they look at it to see if it warrants an exorcism. Then once that's been written or wrote off, then the exorcist would do a visit.
Okay, that makes sense. So what are you trying to say here, Ian Lawman? That first and foremost, they do the preliminary, things like blessing, prayer groups, and all this stuff to see if this can calm down the situation. And right after, if the situation, quote unquote, gets more sinister, it gets reviewed by the bishop, who will eventually decide what to do. But there will be also the psychological assessment first, because usually that's how the church, even the Anglican church, works the same way as the Catholic church. They have assessment teams made by professionals, and they will go there and try to see if the issue is not of mental origin, which turns out to be 9.9 times out of 10 mental, physical, emotional problem, and so the exorcism will never take place.
Why is it always creepy dolls that are haunted? Dolls look creepy. Do I believe that every creepy doll is haunted? Certainly not. Do I believe that every...
I believe that no creepy haunted doll is haunted, to be honest.
No shit, Sherlock.
I think it's only certain dolls that are haunted. From my experience, I've felt anything negative lights things with eyes, so creepy dolls.
What? Anything negative like things with eyes? What the fuck does this mean? Oh, I will tell you what it means. Anything with eyes, he says. It means that A, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and B, most likely is connected with a human fear of being constantly stalked and observed. A very ancient fear that our race has since the beginning of time. That's really all there is.
And I think it's a way of this negative energy watching
quest'uomo.
watching every single move you do. So there is dolls out there that are definitely haunted.
Oh yeah,
but there's also certain cults, certain belief systems that perform voodoo, which is a form of witchcraft, and I believe they put it in an object.
No. Don't get things mixed up, because voodoo is a form of religion. Doesn't have anything to do with witchcraft. It was associated to witchcraft by Christians, of course, because it was different than Christianity. So anything that hasn't to do with their beliefs is witchcraft. Paganism, witchcraft, and all sorts of things. So
Shut up! That is so stupid!
What is the most scared I've ever been? I think it was when I first became ordained as an exorcist. My first ever exorcism was one of the most scariest I've ever performed. I was very young, and I was with a really well-known exorcist who now has passed on, sadly. And we went into this house. It was a young boy, and this young boy was possessed by a Polish airman from an RAF base, because his father...
Polish airman?
They used to own an RAF base where it was hired out for antiques and fairs and things like that.
What?
This little boy kept saying he could see rabbits, he could see different people. This spirit would change personality, and that's what we call a shapeshifter. And that...
Oh. A what? Sorry? A shapeshifter? Ian, I didn't know you were a fan of D&D and stuff. A shapeshifter? Ian, for real? What type of entity is this? That doesn't make sense. I think, my honest opinion, guys, is making things up on the go. Because this kind of stuff I would expect from a D&D master rather than a priest. I've met a lot of priests. I met also an exorcist. Okay? An ordained exorcist in the Catholic Church. Nobody have ever told any type, not even close, the type of bollocks this man is saying.
That is a negative soul adjusting itself so this young boy felt comfortable with it.
Oh, Jesus.
But over a period of time, this young boy pushed his mum down the stairs, broke her leg, broke her arm, started getting aggressive.
Don't you think that maybe this was, instead of a demonic possession, rather something that this young boy was suffering from? Some mental condition? Did you guys check this?
He had really dark eyes, but this young boy spoke fluent Latin. He came from an
He spoke fluent. That's one of the most common misconception. Okay, so priests, Catholic priests, the majority of them knows Latin. I don't know if it is the same thing for Anglican priests. I strongly doubt that this man knows Latin, so I don't know how we can for certainly say that this young boy was talking Latin. Plus, the gibberish part of possession was explained because most of the time our brain, in any case, keeps recording. Even though we don't actively remember things, our brain creates the synapses in it, so we can remember certain things. And when we are delirious, maybe these kind of things can come up because we have no ability to control it. So I would say that rather than a possession, this boy needed medical, psychological attention.
Do demons wear clothes? They certainly
question.
do. They don't walk around naked. People don't understand that.
Oh, of course, demons wear clothes, absolutely. They want to be fashionable and they follow the most recent trend.
This is a villain so evil, so sinister, so horribly vile, that even the utterance of his name strikes fear into the hearts of men.
For me, it's a really funny reaction when I meet somebody. When I put my robe on or my dog collar on and I'm carrying my bag that I've got with me today,
okay,
and I meet somebody for the first time, and I think there's something strange about them, it's all about their eyes. And normally anything demonic, because I'm ordained, will look very uncomfortable with me and want to back off.
And what the fuck is you talking about?
Was that?
Maybe they have a problem with, priests in general? Just say.
Did you see what I did there?
How many people just think you're mad? I would say loads of people.
I'm one of them. You're either mad or you're either a con artist. One of the two.
People think I'm mad. It's very hard to tell somebody that you're talking to dead people.
It is, because there are no evidence.
Part of the population do believe, but there is, I would say, a quarter of the population who are dead against it, don't believe in it, maybe because for religious reasons.
No, we don't believe it, not because of religious reason. It's because of the lack of evidence, Ian.
And those are the bottom lines.
The lack of evidence make us question your claims. That's all there is, Ian. As Odifreddi once said, Professor Odifreddi, a mathematician, an Italian mathematician, said, there are two cases, especially involving psychic mediums, like Mr. Lawman over here. Number one, the problem is psychological. Therefore, the psychic medium needs to be attended by professional. The second case is judiciary, in the sense that they are pretending to be what they are not, and they're scamming people. A third case of a genuine original medium was never found ever.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
What tools do you use? As an exorcist, we use various Bibles, and we have a bag. We have holy water. This is blessed. We have to robe
This one looks professional.
up.
It looks deodorant.
Water from
Looks
a
like
font.
deodorant.
Some people use black salt, some use natural salt, and then we bless it and it becomes holy.
Believe in what makes you feel happy. Absolutely. You have the right to believe in whatever religion, creed existing. But if something for me, the beliefs itself for me, doesn't make sense, I'll say it.
We have what we call water sprinklers, which are holy water goes in.
These are
and
actually
you enter it from the.
These are actually legit, people. In the past, they were using some sort of brush to do the trick, so they were just immersing the brush in the holy water and then sprinkling it to the house, to the possessed, etc. I think that they still use it from time to time.
And then there's my stole, which is very valuable. This is gold. This is solid gold.
This is one of the most tacky stole I have ever seen. There is no guideline. Okay, I checked. There is no guideline for what stole you want to wear. I mean, you can have it custom made, like this one. This one is custom made. But usually, exorcists, since they are not getting like a lot of money, they tend to use what the church gives them. And usually just a purple stole with like, yes, golden crosses at the bottom and a small cross on the back of the neck. That's usually what it is. My assumption, he makes a lot of money, therefore he has this custom made for his needs.
And this is what we do to robe up. Purple is a pure colour. And this is why we always use purple as a colour. But every time we take this out, we should do the sign of the cross.
Correct.
And it's really, really powerful to wear this.
So he did his homework, at least. Okay.
Does Satan look like? When I was...
Ma Satana cosa? What Satan looked like. Okay. Let's watch it.
Young, I believe I was touched by the devil. It's when I first...
That's the key word, I believe. Okay? I believe.
Started finding my belief system in religion. It's when I first started being interested in becoming an exorcist. So I already started training as an exorcist. And I was laid in bed one night and I was fast asleep. And then I was woken up by somebody walking into the room. And all I could see was a black shadow. I saw no face, saw nothing. I saw no gown. I just saw this black mist, this shadow. And I was paralyzed. I couldn't move on the bed. Now, loads of skeptical people out there are going to say I was dreaming. I wasn't dreaming.
You were not dreaming, you were experiencing what it's called in the trade a sleep paralysis, my friend. That's a sleep paralysis. That's exactly what happens when you experience a sleep paralysis. There are studies done to this day that proves that sleep paralysis is a thing. It has nothing to do with ghosts, has nothing to do with demons, has nothing to do with the paranormal.
I knew I was awake. And I can remember looking around the room, and I remember looking at myself, wondering why I couldn't move. And out of this mist came this long hand and grabbed my face, and I could feel my skin being pulled. And at this moment in time, I was petrified. I thought, what do I do? Where am I going? Who is this thing? What is it?
Imagine your ego. Imagine your ego to think that, you know, the king of hell took a day out of his duties and came just for you, Ian. Satan, it's a word that means accuser, opposer, is not an entity in the Bible. Just stick it in your thick skull, Ian.
And I said some of the prayers that I would trained at that time to say, bearing in mind I wasn't qualified at this point, so I didn't understand everything. And within that, this entity just dispersed. It was always like a powder just dropping to the floor.
It's gone. Poof.
And I do believe that Satan looks like your worst fear. So whatever you're scared of, that's what he looks like.
That's a simple explanation.
Why can you see things that I can't? Prove you're not making this up. I think it's hard.
Yeah, that's a good question, to be honest.
For me to prove I'm not making it up. Unless you go see me live at a show or something like that, where you can see me giving messages to loved ones where they're crying in the audience, and only that person receiving that message can say it's true or not.
Going to one of your shows where you basically use cold reading or hard reading to get the information from a crowd, and that's where basically you can prove that you're a genuine thing. I don't know how many times this type of psychic medium have been debunked. This methodology, I mean, has been debunked over and over and over and over by James Randi, by Susan Gerbic, by Massimo Polidoro. This is just cold reading. Okay, what you're trying to do is cold reading an entire audience by just giving vague information until something sticks. That's all there is. Pathetic.
As far as exorcisms, it goes through a process where we have access to doctor's notes, we have access to medical reports, you have assessments, you have psychological assessments. So it goes
Rightfully
through a
so.
process before any exorcist is called in.
As I said before, the overwhelming majority of the time, the exorcist doesn't even come to visit, because it stops right there. It stops like the assessment team will evaluate and establish that the problem is psychological, emotional, or physical. Nothing to do with the paranormal. I think especially the Roman Catholic Church have learned their lessons in the 70s when they condemned poor Anneliese Michels to the grave. Because for some of those giving the assessment priest, they said, yeah, but she doesn't look epileptic to me. Ah, because you're a medical expert.
And generally with, institutions like medical institutions, doctors, psychiatrists, how is exorcism viewed on the whole by these other professionals?
I think some medical...
All the people I have met in this field, they all think the same, that there is no such thing as demonic possession.
Is what I do considered Christian? Now, I'm very religious, I am a Christian, and not many people realise or understand that every faith has an exorcist. So
yes,
as a psychic,
true. So what?
Christians and particular religions, other religions don't...
As a psychic, Christian, professional bullshitter, allegedly.
Except psychics, they believe it's devil worship. But for me, I came into exorcism after I was a psychic, and I was invited within a priesthood that made me ordained, or made me become ordained, because they wanted me to work for them.
And for that, I think that Beardo has something different to say in this regard, right? Because there are no evidence that you have been ever ordained by the Anglican Church. Well, you heard the guy, you heard my opinion on the matter, you have heard Beardo's opinion on the matter. Anyone with critical thinking skills can clearly see that this man is full of the brown stuff. At least, that's what it seems to me. He claims to be that he has been ordained by the Anglican Church, and there is a lack of evidence to confirm this fact. And not to mention that also, sometimes he said Anglican Church, sometimes said another church, so it's difficult to say. Second of all, I can see that he's not wearing any robes, any typical dress from the Anglican Church. As far as I know, Anglican Church priest needs to wear their uniform at all times. Third problem I have with this man is the tattoos. There are too many tattoos on his body, and by the church, even by the Anglican Church standard, tattoos are forbidden. So in case you became ordained after you got this tattoo, you need to make sure to cover them up. He looks like a biker more than a priest to me. So what's the conclusion? What do I think about this whole situation? Quite simply, there are people out there that are willing to do anything it takes to take advantage of the most gullible. We know that. We know that. We have seen this thing so many times. The problem with this guy is that he considers himself an exorcist, a trained exorcist, an ordained exorcist, and he televises all spiritual things that he does. There is a huge problem. Both the Roman Catholic Church and the Anglican Church will never ever authorize the filming of an exorcist, officially due to privacy reasons. I do believe that not only for privacy reasons, but because if they start to televise exorcism, people will start to see through the cracks of their beliefs, and they start questioning more and more and more. Anyway, guys, I hope it was funny. I hope you had fun with me. I had fun doing it. I mean, I try to be as unbiased as possible, but sometimes in these cases it's very difficult for me, especially when it comes to psychic mediums. You know that I love psychic mediums, right? Thanks for staying with me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay awesome, just the way you are, and I see you all the next time. Ciao!